Welcome back to the Vicky KZ Hollifield Softball Complex, Game 2 of the Saturday afternoon doubleheader and home opener for Carson-Newman against King. Matt Scalzo with you on the Eagle Sports Network. Emma Romika gets the ball in Game 2 and faces Gianna Wingy to get things going, and Wingy hammers the ball into center field for a base hit. The first pitch coming at 3:14 local time here in Jefferson City. Carson-Newman took Game 1 by a score of 7-1. Now Savannah Looper will come up to bat for this Tornado squad that is trying to get some offense into gear. Wingy still batting lead up, but Looper has pushed up in the lineup after a double and a base hit in Game 1. As Looper takes a first pitch strike, and the count moves to 0-1. Romika home, and that one misses down away. Outside against the left-handed hitting pitcher. Looper gets the ball to start for the Tornado in this contest after Kaylee Meeks got the ball in Game 1. Next pitch is fouled away by Looper, and it's 1-2. One ball, two strikes. Romika in her freshman season comes home. That one misses to Looper. Evens the count at 2-2. Adam Gahn is behind the plate here in Game 2 with Don Spencer out in the field. Romika looks and gets her sign. Comes home on the 2-2 delivery. Looper ground ball to second. Winchester goes to Smith for 2. Ooh, she drops it. Smith lost it on the exchange. And that'll go down as an error as Looper reaches on a fielder's choice. So runners on first and second here for Ulisa Kennedy, who hit a solo home run as the lone run for King in that first game. Fouls the first pitch back, get it 0-1. Very little changes for either side to begin this contest. Next one dips in the beneath the zone, and it's 1-1. Here comes Romika on the 1-1. Kennedy line drive down the left field line. Saunders picks it on the backhand, but Wingy will come around to score as Kennedy is in with a double, and safely in at third is Looper. So the Tornado wasting no time, taking advantage and jumping ahead 1-0. And still the pressure is on for Emma Romika, who's only thrown 9 pitches in this inning, but the freshman from San Diego, California, has gotten off to a tough start. Got the ball in Game 2 against Shorter on Wednesday, delivered a 5-inning complete game shutout. And the Eagles' 13-0 run rule over the Hawks. Atiana Stamper delivered a gem in Game 1 this afternoon in a 7-1 victory. Romika's 1-0 is fouled off to the side on the first base side and evens the count at 1-1. The complete game and a run rule by Romika was the first one since Sierra Rogers did it in 2025, also against Shorter. The 1-1 popped up and out of play straight back. Count moves to 1-2 as Romika tries to work out of this first inning jam where Carson-Newman has been primarily working with the lead in most of their contests, but they have been able to bounce back when opponents score the first run. When the opponent scores first, Carson-Newman is 2-0 this season. Got a win over Beaufort, and then also again against Shorter in Game 1 on Wednesday. A 13-12 win in extra innings. The 1-2 missed beneath the zone, and it's 2-2 to Aubrey King. King playing at first base in Game 2. Was behind the dish before. This one hit on the ground to third. Gregory Fields tags out Looper at third, and then a double play across the diamond to get King. And it's a 5-3 twin killing from Grace Gregory that gets a much-needed double play for Carson-Newman. Puts two away as Zavia Buncic, comes up standing in the righty's batter's box. Playing at third base once more. As Buncic takes the first pitch strike on the outer half, but it's 0-1. As I had talked about, Romika, that 5-inning complete game shutout against Shorter was the third consecutive quality start that the freshman has delivered. The 0-1 fouled off of home plate, and it's 0-2. Third straight quality outing, I should say. Went 2 innings against USC Beaufort. Was listed as the starter, even though Sarah Walker got the ball to start. Listing Romika as the starter in that game. Added some flexibility into the lineup. Here comes the 0-2. Misses high above the top rail. 1-2. Made her first career start against Erskine on the second day of the Low Country Classic. Gave up 1 run on 4 hits. Going 4 innings and got the win in that contest. Just gave up 2 hits with 6 strikeouts against Shorter on Wednesday. This is a ground ball back up the middle and into center field. Kennedy gets the green light around third, and she will score standing up. An RBI single from Avaya Busnick. And it's 2-0 King. The Tornado striking early in Jefferson City to get things going in Game 1. First pitch is outside to Kaylee Hughes, who starts in left field for Game 2. Came in as a defensive sub in Game 1 after a flurry of changes. First one missed to Hughes, and now fouls away the second one. Makes the count 1-1. But Hughes came in that after Sophia Waters came in relief of Kylie Meeks. So when Waters came in from right field, Wingy moved over to right, and Hughes took Wingy's spot in left. 1-1's off the mark. Two-1 to the plate. Misses low. 3 balls and a strike. Hughes lifts it in the air. Right center field. Long run for Martin. It's over her head, and one hops over the wall. A ground rule double will stop Hughes at second and Busnick over at third. A ground rule double from Kaylee Hughes keeps the pressure on, and Grace Sherry will now come up to bat. The second baseman for the Tornado, and a 2-0 lead. 4 hits in this first inning as Sherry fouls the first offering down the first base side from Romika, and it's 0-1. Elena Demakis, the 8 hitters, the shortstop, and then Katie Ryans, the center fielder, batting 9th. That is the lineup for King. Defensively for Carson-Newman, it is unchanged from game 1, other than in right field, Shelby Armstrong takes the place of Katie Mathena. Abby Martin's in straightaway center, and Addie Saunders is in left. Sherry's 0-1, popped foul, lands on top of the press box here on the first base side, and it's 0-2. From first to third around the infield, it's Macaulay Bailey, Reese Winchester, Malia Smith, and Grace Gregory. Anne-Marie Richards is behind the dish with Romika in the circle. The 0-2, Sherry pops it up straight to Gregory at third, and that will do it in inning number 1. But the Tornado strikes first on a pair of runs. They score 2 runs on 4 hits, helped by an error, and leave 2 runners left on base. In the top of the first inning, the Eagles will look to answer back in the bottom half when we come back on the Eagle Sports Network. Savannah Looper gets the ball in the bottom of the first inning and gets the start for the Tornado here in Game 2 of this Saturday afternoon doubleheader and home opener for Carson-Newman. They took the technical home opener in Game 1, 7-1 over the Tornado, and now they'll look to do the same here in Game 2 as Malia Smith leads off once more for Carson-Newman, as she has done in the prior 11 games to start this season. Standing in the lefty's batter's box, facing the lefty and Looper. And the first pitch is off the mark low, 1-0. The rest of the Carson-Newman order is as follows. Abby Martin bats second, playing in center field. Macaulay Bailey, the first baseman, bats third. The 1-0. Smith tries to push a bunt down, and it catapults foul backwards off of home plate. 1-1. Anne-Marie Richards is the cleanup hitter, playing catcher. Grace Gregory bats fifth, playing at third, and the designated player, Sarah Walker, bats sixth. Addie Saunders is in left field batting seventh, with Shelby Armstrong the lone change in this Carson-Newman order, batting eighth, playing at right field. The 1-1 chopped to second, fielded on a couple of hops by Grace Sherry, and she'll make the play over at first base for out number 1 as Smith is retired. And then rounding things out, the 9-hitter is Reese Winchester for the Eagles. Brings up Abby Martin. And she takes the first pitch strike from Looper. It's 0-1. Looper this season holds a 1.12 ERA, a 2-1 record, making her 4th start, 5th appearance overall, and has thrown 2 complete games. Martin lines one into left field, and they'll drop in for a base hit in front of Kaylee Hughes. And it's a 1-out base hit for Abby Martin. To put a lot of speed on the bases for Carson-Newman, trying to answer back from the 2 spot that the Tornado put up in the top of the first inning. Brings up Macaulay Bailey. First pitch to Bailey misses high from Looper, 0-1, or 1-0. Bailey picked up an RBI for the 5th consecutive game in Game 1. Chopper that loops over the head of Looper, fielded on the backhand by Sherry. The throw is in time to get Bailey by a step. as Martin advances over to second and into scoring position as it comes to Anne-Marie Richards. Coming into this contest, she is third on the team in RBIs with 10 and is batting just below, or after the most recent game, she has now pushed her batting average up over 400 at 406. First offering to her is off the mark from Looper. Defensively for the Tornado, talked about some changes they made in their lineup as Richards hammers one into left field for a base hit. Martin turns and burns around third, coming in to score. It gets past Hughes, goes all the way to left field wall, and Richards will stop over at second base. Another RBI single from Anne-Marie Richards, her 11th RBI of the season, and the Eagles cut the lead in half. It's 2-1. Richards advances over to second on the error by left fielder Hughes. As Gregory now climbs into the lefty's batter's box. Gregory hit her first home run of the season, 4th overall for the Eagles in Game 1. Skips in the turf on the first offering to her. Fielded on the backhand by Wingy, and it's 1-0. As I talked about defensive changes, just here and there. Wingy's now behind the dish for King to start Game 2. As the 1-0 comes in, brushes inside as Gregory turns out of the way, 2-0. Aubrey King's now over at first base with Grace Sherry at second. Left side of the infield's unchanged. Avaya Bunsick is at third, and Elena Demakis is at short. Katie Hughes is still in center field, but the corner outfielders have changed as the 2-0 finds the bottom rail of the zone, and it's 2-1 to Gregory. Kaylee Hughes is in left, and then in right field as the 2-1 comes in, and Gregory grounds it foul third base side. Is Staley Vaught. She's in right field. She's the flex player for King in this second game. Here comes the 2-2 to Gregory. Skips in the turf. Blocked by Wingy behind the dish. And Richards stays put over at second base as the count runs full with 2 away. Three-two. It's low to Gregory, and she works a 2-out walk to put 2 runners on with 2 away. And here comes Sarah Walker, the designated player for Carson-Newman, another freshman on this young team that has performed early in the season. Walker batting .313, has a home run with 4 RBIs. First pitch misses high above the zone to Walker. Grounded foul, third base side off the bat of Walker. Evens the count up at 1-1. Walker to the right side of the infield, pops off the glove of Sherry, gathers herself and throws to first to retire Walker. And the inning comes to a close. But the Eagles bring one across on the RBI single from Anne-Marie Richards, and it's 2-1 King as we go into the second inning on the Eagle Sports Network. Top of the second inning, 2-1. The lead for King over Carson-Newman through one frame. Matt Scalzo with you on the Eagle Sports Network. 8-9-1 due up for King in this top half of the second inning. Elena Demakis, Katie Ryan, and then back to the top of the order with Gianna Wingy. To get things going for Emma Romika, who looks for a cleaner inning of work this second time around as Demakis fouls the first one back. Works the count to 0-1. The 0-1. This is high from Romika, 1-1. The 1-1 from the righty Romika. A wave and a miss from Demakis. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Demakis was 0 for 3 in game 1. The 1-2 from Romika. Demakis fouls it straight back. And we'll do it all over again. In game 1, King mustered together just 4 hits overall and 1 run. Through 1 inning, they've got 2 runs on 4 hits. Seeing something against this freshman, and Romika had a tough time solving Atiana Stamper in game 1. 1-2, and Demakis fights it off. Another foul ball that pops out of play, third base side. And the count stays where it is at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Busy day in Mossy Creek. There's also a double header happening just down the side road at the Silver Diamond Baseball Complex for Carson-Newman baseball. As Demakis hits one on the ground, fielded on the backhand by the shortstop Smith. The strong throw on to first and a good stretch by Macaulay Bailey retires Demakis, who's got good speed on a 6-3 putout for the opening out in the second inning. And then both basketball teams, men's and women's basketball, in the Palmetto State at Newberry. Lenore Ryan took game 1 of the doubleheader down the road at the Silver Diamond Baseball Complex, and they also, with that win, a 6-4 final, claimed the series overall. As the first offering to Katie Ryan is a called strike, and it's 0-1. It was a game of plenty of chances for Carson-Newman against the Bears to get things going this afternoon. The 0-1. Foul tipped into the mitt of Richards, and it's 0-2. Carson-Newman struck first with 3 in the second, but the Bears answered back with 5 in the third. Carson-Newman got one back in the fourth, but another insurance run in the seventh by the Bears aided them to a 6-4 win. The 0-2 popped up out of play, first base side off the bat of Ryan, and the count stays where it is. But the glaring number for Carson-Newman is they out-hit the Bears 13-9. They had just 1 more error in a 2-1 category, but they left 18 runners on base in comparison to Lenore Ryan's 6. That is certainly not going to make Tom Griffin and company happy. The 0-2 line drive straight to Reese Winchester at second base for out number 2. Romika's settled back in as now she'll turn things over back to the top of the order with Gianna Wingy. Mackenzie Wainwright, the reigning Southeast Player of the Year, continues to struggle for the Bears. He was just 1 for 5 today. As Wingy swings on the first pitch, grounds it straight to Macaulay Bailey at first. She'll take it to the bag herself, and it's a 1-2-3, top of the second. A bounce-back inning for Emma Romika. Turns things back over to the Carson-Newman Bats in the bottom of the second inning when we come back on the Eagle Sports Network. We welcome you back to the Vic here in Jefferson City, Tennessee. Game 2 of this Saturday afternoon doubleheader and home opener for Carson-Newman softball. Now 10-1 on the season after taking Game 1 over King 7-1. Eagles now find themselves in a 2-1 hole, but a 1-2-3 top of the second inning from Emma Romika has calmed her down and has turned things back to Addie Saunders and this Carson-Newman order as Saunders takes a first pitch strike from Savannah Looper, and it's 0-1. 7, 8, and 9 in the Carson-Newman order. Saunders broke things open in Game 1 with a 2-run triple to left center field. Finished that game 2 for 3, also had a base hit. The 1-1. Saunders, a slow roller, fielded on the backhand by Looper, bobbles it, and then Saunders, with her speed, is able to reach safely. So Saunders will reach on the error by Looper. Brings up Shelby Armstrong and puts the tying run on the bases with a lot of speed for Carson-Newman. Shelby Armstrong will come up to bat, showing bunt and fouls it back on the first pitch that she sees. Armstrong, along with Grace Gregory, the two transfers that have come in for Carson-Newman. Talked about Gregory, North Alabama transfer. Shelby Armstrong initially began her career at North Alabama, but eventually transferred to Roane State Community College, where she was a star player the last 2 seasons as the 0-1 wave and a miss from Armstrong. And it's 0-2. Junior out of Knoxville. The 0-2, screaming shot that nearly goes straight into the window here at the press box. All windows in front of me, nothing open, so I didn't have to exactly be on my toes. As here comes the 0-2 to Armstrong, and she fights it off with another foul ball. Armstrong batting .200 on the season. Hit a double in Game 1 against Shorter on Wednesday. Picked up her second and third RBIs of the season in the 13-12 win. As the 0-2 is off the mark, and it's 1-2. 1-2, a wave and a miss from Armstrong. She goes down swinging on Looper's first strikeout of the afternoon. Puts one away in the bottom half of the second inning, and here comes Reese Winchester. Addie Saunders has stayed put over at first base. And we'll see what Winchester has in store. She worked a pair of walks in Game 1 as Winchester has been able to get on base that way. Puts a sac bunt down in front of Looper. She'll field and fire to first. For out number 2, it pushes Saunders into scoring position over at second base. And it turns things back over to the top of the order with Malia Smith. First pitch is off the mark, and it's 1-0. Saunders, the tying run in scoring position. Smith tries to put a bunt down, misses, and the count evens up at 1-1. One misses to Smith, and it's 2-1. Smith is 0 for 1, grounded out to the second baseman Sherry, her first time up. As a chopper towards first, fielded by King, and she'll win the race to the bag for out number 3. And the Eagles leave the tying run on the bases with no hits off one error. Sends us into the third inning. 2-1, King in front on the Eagle Sports Network. Two, 3, and 4 due up for King in the top of the third inning. Matt Scalzo with you on the Eagle Sports Network. 2-1, King in front over Carson-Newman in Game 2 of this Saturday afternoon doubleheader. Carson-Newman took Game 1 and their home opener, 7-1. Savannah Looper leads off, pops one up third base side, and straight into the glove of Grace Gregory on the first pitch she sees from Emma Romika, who has settled down after a rocky first inning. Has retired the last 5 King hitters. Elisa Kennedy comes up, takes a first pitch ball from Romika. (1-0) fouled away by Kennedy. 1 ball and 1 strike. Kennedy hit a solo home run and also drove in a RBI double her first time up. Eventually came to score, made it 2-0 King. 1-1 hit into the bullpen down the third base side for King, and they have an arm warming up there, has to duck and cover. So the count's at 1-2 with 1 away. Romika looks in, has her sign, rocks and deals. Misses low. Evens the count at 2-2. The next pitch will be the 40th for Romika. (2-2). Kennedy jammed inside, hits one on the ground to short. Smith fields and fires, and is able to retire Kennedy for out number 2. Brings up Aubrey King as Romika looks for back-to-back 1, 2, 3 innings, stifling these King bats. King swings and grounds the first pitch foul down the third base side. The 0-1 from Romika is upcoming. And time is called as there's a ball loose down the third base side. So the head coach for the Tornado going to get it as King lines one hard down the left field line, and it one hops into the wall. Saunders fields. The relay throw to second is not in time. Aubrey King sliding in with a double with 2 away. 5th hit for the Tornado in this second contest. First pitch to Bunsick. Misses low, and it's ball one. Saying earlier that Kylie Payne, the head coach for King, was going to get that loose ball that was left on the third base side. The 1-0 to Bunsick is a called strike. 1-1. Bunsick is 1 for 1 with a base hit up the middle. Their time up in the first inning. Picked up an RBI as well. Check swing and goes around on the 1-1. Count moves to 1-2. She was left over at third in that first inning. Romika's got her sign from the wristband on her left arm. This hit on the ground to third. Gregory Fields snaps a throw to first, and that will do it in the top of the third inning. 2-out double from Aubrey King, but she's left on the bases as the Eagles will look to find that second run to tie things up when we come back on the Eagle Sports Network. Two, 3, and 4 for Carson-Newman here in the bottom of the third inning. Abby Martin, Macaulay Bailey, and Anne-Marie Richards against Savannah Looper. 2-1, King in front here on the Eagle Sports Network. Matt Scalzo with you. First off, Frida Barton hit on the ground foul, third base side. King leaves a runner on second in the top of the third inning. The 0-1 to Martin, misses low, 1-1. Martin is 1 for 1 with a base hit and a run scored in the first inning. It's a slow roller that skitters to the left side of the third base bag, and the count now moves to 1-2 off the foul ball. Martin with that run scored in the first inning. 16 runs that she has scored this season. That leads the team by quite some margin. 1-2. The Looper misfires. Evens the count at 2-2. Two is in the turf. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Here comes the payoff pitch. That is high, ball 4. Martin reaches first for the second time today and sprints down to say hello to Hayden Dye, graduate assistant for Carson-Newman. Finished up her tremendous career last year, was a unanimous All-American for the Eagles at shortstop. And she has enjoyed looking through the game in a different lens as a coach, as Macaulay Bailey shows bunt, pulls back. That is called a strike, and Abby Martin swipes second base. Martin was caught stealing in the first game, but she is in there safely with her 7th stolen base of the season. puts the tying run in scoring position with nobody out for Macaulay Bailey. And chops the next offering off of home plate foul and caught the catcher Wingy in an awkward position. So she shakes that off. Abby Martin's been an on-base machine this season, getting on base at a team-high 541 clip coming into this second game, and has only increased that with a single and now a walk as the 0-2 misses high from Looper, and it's 1-2 to Macaulay Bailey. Program leader in all-time home runs and RBIs. 1-2 misses to Bailey, and it's 2-2. 16 RBIs for Macaulay Bailey, 15 of those coming in her last 5 games. Two, and Bailey spoils with a foul ball that goes behind home plate, and the count stays where it is. Two on the ground to second. Fielded by Sherry. She'll snap a throw to first for out number 1. But Abby Martin advances over to third on the 4-3 putout. Puts the tying run 60 feet away for Anne-Marie Richards. Pair of 4-3 putouts for Macaulay Bailey to start game 2. Time is called before first pitch into Richards. Comes up in a very similar situation. Had an RBI single that drove in Martin in the first inning. Takes the first pitch ball for ball 1. Advanced over to second on an error in that play. The 1-0. Richard pulls it foul down the left field line. Evens the count at 1-1 with 1 away. Richards goes the other way with a base hit up the middle. Drives in Martin. 2 RBIs on the day with back-to-back RBI singles for Anne-Marie Richards. Ties things up at 2 apiece. Brings Grace Gregory to the plate. How about what Anne-Marie Richards has done as of late? Hit her first career home run on Wednesday against Shorter. It was a grand slam in the top of the 8th inning. That became vital as the Eagles held on for a 13-12 win. It looks like we're going to be having some changes defensively for King as Wingy runs in from behind the plate, and Aubrey King comes in from first base. So a brief pause here as everything gets all ironed out. I do see King putting on her catching gear. She caught game 1 as she runs out of the first base side dugout. Or third base side dugout, excuse me. As Gianna Wingy will now go to the outfield. Replaces Staley Vaught in right field. As there will also be a pitching change for King here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. So while all that is getting figured out, we're going to take a quick break here on the Eagle Sports Network. Back with more after this. Back on the Eagle Sports Network, Grace Gregory fouls the first pitch back from Riley Lamb, who has come in out of the bullpen and replaces Savannah Looper, who slides over to first base. 0-1 to Gregory, misses beneath the knees of the right-handed hitting first baseman, and it's 1-1. So Looper is now over at first base. Talked about how Aubrey King is now going behind the plate. Gianna Wingy takes the place of Staley Vaught in right field. As the 1-1 misses low, and it's 2-1. Vaught was listed as the flex player, so the official sub is Riley Lamb, comes in for Vaught and is now pitching. Looper stays in the lineup and just goes over to first base, and Wingy goes from catcher to right field. As Gregory hits one on the ground, and it sneaks under the glove of the third baseman Bunsick and into left field. Aided by another King error, that is their third. Puts Anne-Marie Richards the go-ahead run in scoring position. Brings up Sarah Walker. A 2-2 game after the RBI single from Anne-Marie Richards. Walker, a hefty cut, comes up empty, and it's 0-1 against Riley Lamb. The 0-1. Walker catches a piece and sends it straight back behind home plate, 0-2. Lamb comes in, making her fourth appearance of the season. First non-start for Lamb, the righty. Comes home on the 0-2, bounces in the turf. Good block behind the plate by King, and it's 1-2. Lamb holds the highest ERA on this King pitching staff that coming into today held a 2.20 ERA. Lamb sits at a 7.20, 0-2 record through 11 2/3. 1-2 goes in high and tight and buzzes the tower of Walker as she leans out of the way. Evens the count at 2-2 with one away. Grace Gregory at first, Anne-Marie Richards at second. 2-2 home. Walker off the end of her bat goes to the other way towards first. It is fielded by Sherry, and she'll toss to first for out number 2. But either way, it keeps this inning alive for Carson-Newman. It puts 2 in scoring position for Addie Saunders. Saunders drove in a pair with a triple in game 1. Looks to get things going here against Riley Lamb. First pitch is down the chute from Lamb, and it's 0-1. The 0-1. Misses outside. 1-1 to lefty and Saunders. Addie reached on an error in the second. Already 3 errors against the Tornadoes, or the Tornado, excuse me, in this contest. This is lifted foul, third base side, and the count shifts to 1-2. The 1-2. Rise ball goes high from Lamb. Two to Saunders, and she slaps it foul, third base side, and is able to stay alive as the count stays at 2-2 with 2 away and 2 on in the bottom of the third inning. All knotted up at 2 in game 2. A lot of 2s going on here at the Vic on this Saturday afternoon. Break even comes home and misses low to Saunders, and the count runs full. Gregory at second, Richards at third. Saunders a chance to put the go-ahead run in for Carson-Newman. Payoff pitch, Saunders the other way and into left field for a base hit. Richards scores. It's an RBI single for Addie Saunders. Taking the outside pitch and working it the other way. Out of reach for the outstretched glove of DeMakis. Her third RBI of the afternoon. And Carson-Newman with a pair in the bottom of the third takes a 3-2 lead. Brings up Shelby Armstrong, swings and grounds the first pitch foul. And it's 0-1. Errors have hurt the Tornado in not only this inning, but throughout this game as well. The 0-1 misses to Armstrong. Evens the count at 1-1. Grace Gregory reached on an error. The 1-1 skips in, 2-1. Ball's away from the catcher King. Saunders aggressive, is able to advance over to second base. Hesitated for a moment, but saw King bobble it. And Addie Saunders with good speed moves into scoring position on the wild pitch. 2-1 to Armstrong. Hits off the end of her bat, or did it hit her? They'll say that it caught her arm before it hit the bat, or didn't hit the bat at all. And she'll head on down on a hit by pitch to load the bases for the 9-hitter Reese Winchester. And I thought I heard a slight ping, and apparently so did Kylie Payne, who comes out of the third base dugout and is going to ask for just maybe some consideration as this umpiring crew of Adam Gahn and Don Spencer come together. Gahn behind the plate, Spencer out in the field. And Spencer says, yes, that caught her on her forearm, which puts her over at first base. Reese Winchester now comes up. Takes the first pitch strike. Sack bunt for Winchester her last time up. That's not in the cards with 2 away here in the third. This is lifted the other way. Sherry Fields on one hop and tosses to Looper for out number 3. Eagles leave the bases loaded, but they take the lead. An RBI single from Anne-Marie Richards tied it, and then Addie Saunders with her third RBI of the day makes it 3-2 Eagles as we head into the 4th inning here on the Eagle Sports Network. Six, 7, and 8 due up for King in this top half of the 4th inning. Carson-Newman has taken the lead. RBI singles from Anne-Marie Richards and Addie Saunders puts the Eagles in front 3-0. Matt Scalzo with you on the Eagle Sports Network. Emma Romika working with a lead for the first time today. Delivers a first pitch strike to Kaylee Hughes, who's playing in left field. Hughes muscles one out towards right center. Martin ranges over and makes the grab for out number one. A short-lived battle between Romika and Hughes puts one away in the top half of the fourth inning. Brings up Grace Sherry, the second baseman. As after a tough first inning for Romika, Tsar give up 2 runs on 4 hits. She has since given up just 1 hit, no runs as of late, as the first one is in for a strike to Sherry. The 0-1. Wave the miss. Romika blows it past Sherry and moves into an advantageous position in an 0-2 count. Comes home. The rise ball misses high. That was pitch number 51 for Romika. This one hit on the ground is short by Sherry. Smith with a long throw, but it's a strike to Macaulay Bailey for out number 2. Romika has let her defense behind her make plays. This is a stout defense for Carson-Newman. Came in with just a couple of errors on the season coming into today. As the first pitch to Elena DeBacchus misses low and away to the lefty. It's 1-0. DeBacchus showed bunt, pulled back, but it's a strike regardless. Count moves to 1-1. DeBacchus is 0 for 1 with a ground out. That came back in the second inning. Here on the 1-1, lifts a towering pop-up left side of the infield. There's Malia Smith, and there is out number 3. A 1-2-3, top of the fourth inning for Romika, a shutdown inning as momentum keeps building for the Eagles in Game 2. Back after this on the Eagle Sports Network. Bottom of the fourth inning on the Eagles Sports Network. Matt Scalzo with you. It is a 3-2 lead for Carson-Newman over King. Eagles have scored the last 3 runs, however, unanswered after King plated 2 in the top of the first inning. As it's top of the order, Malia Smith leading off. Chops one towards short. DeBacchus fields it on the backhand, but the throw is late, and Malia Smith is aboard on an infield single. Brings up Abby Martin. She's 1 for 1, reached on a walker last time up, and has scored both times she's gotten on base. She takes the first pitch ball from Riley Lamb. Martin puts the bunt down, right back to the pitcher in Lamb. Fields and slings it to first. A sac bunt from Martin pushes Smith into scoring position. As it's Macaulay Bailey that now comes up to bat for Carson-Newman. First pitch is missing outside to the right-handed hitting Bailey, who is 0 for 2 so far. Pair of groundouts to the second baseman, Sherry. As Malia Smith in scoring position, the 1-0. Hefty's hack, and it's waved on and missed by Bailey. Evens the count at 1-1 with one away. One is outside, a little low. 2 balls and a strike to Macaulay Bailey. Talked about what else was going on in Mossy Creek. Mentioned that the basketball teams were in Newberry, South Carolina. 2-1, misses to Bailey once more. 3 balls, 1 strike. Carson-Newman women's basketball, back-to-back wins as they defeat Newberry 79-48. 3-1, Bailey grounds it foul. Down the third base line, and the count runs full with one away. Payoff pitch to Bailey is low, and she works a 1-out walk. A patient at-bat from Macaulay Bailey. Puts runners on first and second with one away. First pitch to Anne-Marie Richards. Lifts one out into left center field. Long run, and a diving catch is made by Hughes in left center field. Tagging up goes Smith and Bailey as they'll both move up 60 feet. As Grace Gregory now comes up to bat. First pitch to her, right down the chute on the outer half. 0-1. Beautiful diving effort from Kaylee Hughes. The 0-1. Gregory lifts one. Left center field. There's Hughes once more, ranging back just a couple of steps in front of the warning track, and she'll make the grab for out number 3. Back-to-back strong plays from Kaylee Hughes as the Eagles strand a pair on the bases. It's still 3-2 Carson-Newman as we head into the 5th inning on the Eagle Sports Network. Top of the 5th inning, it is a 3-2 Carson-Newman lead over King. Game 2 of this Saturday afternoon doubleheader. Carson-Newman was initially scheduled for a doubleheader against Barton tomorrow. That is, I'd put a question mark on it, is how I would describe it. It was tentatively moved to March, but potential that it is still played tomorrow, as the first offering from Emma Romika is fouled back by Katie Ryan. And the count is 0-1. Romika, after giving up 2 runs on 4 hits in the first inning, has surrendered no runs on just 1 hit. As the 0-1 goes to the off speed and finds the zone. It's 0-2. 57 pitches have been thrown for Romika. 44 of them have been strikes. She pounds the zone. Getting ahead on these hitters. The 0-2 off the jam shot that is lifted to shallow right field by Ryan, and the catch is made by Reese Winchester, second baseman, for out number 1. Turns things back over to the top of the order for Carson-Newman for King and Gianna Wingy. Righty on righty between Romika and Wingy, and Romika right down Main Street for strike 1. Wingy singled her first time up in the first inning, eventually came into score. 0-1, fouled back, again it's 0-2. Last time up, she grounded out to Macaulay Bailey unassisted. Put things to close in the top of the second inning. Since then, it's just one batter has reached. It was a double from Aubrey King. 0-2. Called strike 3. Romika sits Wingy down looking. Puts 2 away on the first strikeout of the afternoon for Emma Romika. She had 6 on Wednesday in the win over Shorter. And so Savannah Looper comes up. First pitch swing, goes back to Romika. She bats it down, fields it on the backhand, tosses to Bailey. And it's in time for a 1-2-3 top of the 5th inning. Romika in full control in the circle. Sends us to the bottom of the 5th. It's still 3-2 Carson-Newman on the Eagle Sports Network. Sarah Walker leads off in the bottom of the 5th inning for Carson-Newman. Swings on the first pitch, lifts one deep towards right field, but with plenty of room to make the play is Gianna Wingy, and there's one gone. In the bottom of the 5th inning, 1 pitch and 1 out for Riley Lamb in a short-lived battle against Sarah Walker. Brings up Addie Saunders, who has had a very good afternoon and has her tower buzz there as the pitch from Lamb runs high and tight, and Saunders has to duck out of the way. Saunders reached on an error by Looper, the pitcher, in the second, as that is off the mark. 2-0. And then had an RBI single in the third that tied the game, or excuse me, gave the Eagles the lead, driving in Anne-Marie Richards. 2-0. Saunders lifts one foul down the third base side and caroms into the King bullpen. It's fired back in. So the count moves to 2-1. This will be the 40th pitch for Lamb upcoming. Saunders in the first game was 2 for 3 with 2 RBIs. This hit a hard hit ground ball into right field. Back-to-back base hits for Addie Saunders, and her 4th on the day. Gives the Eagles a base runner with 1 away for Shelby Armstrong. Saunders with good speed over at first. Armstrong takes the first pitch ball. The 1-0. Wave to miss from Armstrong. Count shifts to 1-2. Armstrong was hit by a pitcher last time up. Struck out her first go-around in the second. As Carson-Newman looks for some insurance. Up 3-2 in the bottom of the 5th inning. Armstrong lifts it foul ground, right field line, and it goes out of play. It was a cloudy morning that has turned into a beautiful Saturday afternoon. For the first 2 games at home for Carson-Newman this season, the 1-2 lifted out of play. Count stays where it is. Eagles spent the first 10 games away from home. 6 neutral site games in which they won. 4 road games, they went 3-1 in those. The 1-2. Check swing from Armstrong, and she fouls it away. This has been a jam-packed stretch of games for Carson-Newman. They opened the season on February 8th, the Sunday, Super Bowl Sunday that is, and went 4-0 across the 8th and the 9th in Johnson City at the Big Region preseason preview. The 1-2. This is outside to Armstrong, 2-2. Then made the trip, the long 6-hour bus trip to Hardeeville, South Carolina, over by Hilton Head, for 4 games at the Low Country Classic, 2 against Erskine, 2 against the host in USC Beaufort. 2-2 rise, ball is high, and the count runs full against Armstrong. Split day 1, dropping their first of the season to the Sand Sharks in Beaufort. And then bounce back with a day 2 sweep and a come-from-behind win against USC Beaufort, getting their revenge. 3-2 from Armstrong. High fly ball out towards right field, a couple of steps in front of the warning track. The catch is made by Wingy for out number 2. And then on Wednesday, Eagles went on the road to Shorter, got the sweep in their first true road doubleheader in a midweek matchup. And now here they are at home against King, as Reese Winchester climbs into the Reddies batter's box. First pitch is down away outside, 1-0. On tap for the Eagles is a question mark around the games tomorrow against Barton. Was it tentatively moved to March 22nd, but it might be on for tomorrow as Winchester hits a hard ground ball straight to short. DeMacus fields and fires on to first, and there is out number 3. So Saunders reaches on a 1-out base hit, but she's left on the bases. Sends us into the 6th inning, still a 3-2 Carson-Newman lead over King on the Eagle Sports Network. On the Eagle Sports Network, Matt Scalzo with you. Into the 6th inning we go. 3-2, Carson-Newman in front over King in Game 2 of this Saturday afternoon doubleheader to open up the home season for Carson-Newman. Winners of 5 consecutive games sit at 10-1 on the season after the 7-1 win to open up this homestand for Carson-Newman. It was initially scheduled for doubleheader today against King, doubleheader against Martin tomorrow as Kennedy swings on the first pitch, lifts it deep out towards right center field. Martin up against the wall and leaps to make the grab for out number 1. Ulisa Kennedy thought she might have gotten her second home run of the day, but instead Abby Martin is there to make the play. Puts one gun in the top of the 6th inning as Emma Romika continues to stifle these tornado bats that put 2 runs across in the second, but since then they have just had 1 hit. And it came from Aubrey King, who's up to bat now. Fouls the first one back, and it's 0-1. What's even more impressive about Romika is after that first inning, she has just been so efficient. This next offering is going to be her 65th of the contest. The 0-1. Off the mark outside to the righty King. Evens the count at 1-1 with 1 gone. On deck is Avaya Bunsik, excuse me. 1-1. King pops it up. Foul ground left field line. Saunders ranges over and she'll make the grab for out number 2. And so here comes Avaya Bunsik. First pitch to Bunsik is outside, ball 1. Bunsik is 1 for 2, an RBI single in the first, and then grounded out in the third. 1-0 finds the zone from Romika, and it's 1-1. Bunsik started a string of 9 consecutive batters retired by Romika, all the way back in the 3rd inning. It's been back-to-back 1-2-3 frames. Bunsik on the ground. Gregory Fields gets her by a step over at first. Last 10 batters have been retired by Romika, and 3 consecutive 1-2-3 frames sends us into the bottom of the 6th, where Carson-Newman looks to add some insurance as they'll look for 3 more outs in the 7th when we come back on the Eagle Sports Network. Emma Romika has retired the last 10 King hitters as Malia Smith leads off in the bottom of the 6th inning. 1 around on the first pitch that skipped to the backstop, and it's 0-1. Matt Scalzo with you on the Eagle Sports Network. 3-2, Carson-Newman in front. Gave up 2 runs in the first inning, but they've scored the last 3 as Smith lines one straight to the second baseman and Sherry. And she stabs it out of the air for out number 1. Brings up Abby Martin. The center fielder singled and scored in the first, then walked and scored in the third, and had a sac bunt in the fourth. First pitch to Martin is off the mark. 1-0. 3 runs on 6 hits with 1 error for Carson-Newman. They've left 9 on base. King with 2 runs on 5 hits and 3 errors. They've just left 3 on base. 1-0 is missing Hyde to Martin. 2-0. For King, they left 2 on in the first, 1 in the third. Since then, they've been put down 1, 2, 3 across the last 3 innings against Emma Romika. 2-0, Hyde to Martin. 3 balls, no strikes. Riley Lamb still in the circle for the Tornado. Has come in relief for Savannah Looper, who gave up 3 runs across 2 and a third innings of work. That catches the outer half against Martin. She was taken all the way, and it's 3-1. Martin jammed inside and fights it off foul. 3 balls and 2 strikes with 1 gone. Since coming in relief, Riley Lamb has gone 3 innings, has just given up 3 hits, no runs, and has given out 1 free pass. 3-2, Martin, slow roller towards first. Looper gobbles it up and takes it to first herself for out number 2. Carson-Newman would like some insurance. Heading into the 7th, the Tornado will just have 3 outs to work with in the top half. But in these tight games, Carson-Newman at times has struggled to get those final 3 outs. First pitch to Macaulay Bailey is outside, 1-0. The 1-0. Outside, 2-0 to Macaulay Bailey. This Carson-Newman team has found themselves in a lot of tight games. 2-0, fouled straight back, 2-1. That's what head coach Michael Graves has said is different about this team. They have found ways to win those tight games. Said last year they might not have won all of these tight games that they've won this year. And it's no knock on last year's team. He just feels there's something different about this year's team in comparison to what he's had in years past. 2-1 is low, 3-1. Popped up behind home plate and out of play on the third base side. Count moves to 3-2. Carson-Newman has certainly been put on notice. Most recent top 25 D2 poll, they were receiving votes. First time they've received votes since 2023. Payoff pitch to Macaulay Bailey is outside for ball 4. Back-to-back walks worked by Macaulay Bailey. Brings up Anne-Marie Richards with 2 away. And it looks like we might have a change on the base paths for Macaulay Bailey. As head coach Michael Graves is going to make the walk down towards home plate, talk with Adam Gahn, and Bailey Worley will be the one coming into pinch run for Macaulay Bailey. Bailey, a senior out of Black Mountain, North Carolina. As her fellow catcher, Anne-Marie Richards, up to bat. First pitch skips in the dirt. And it's 1-0. Richards loops one out into right center field, and it drops in for a base hit. Worley turns around second, heads into third. She goes first to third on a base hit from Anne-Marie Richards. Puts runners on the corners with 2 away. As Anne-Marie Richards picks up her 3rd hit of this contest. All have been base hits. Has a pair of RBIs to go along with it as well. Sets the table for Grace Gregory. First pitch swing for Gregory. Out into shallow right field. Diving is Wingy. She can't make the grab. Worley scores. Richards around third. The throw is cut off as Gregory dives into third safely. 2 more runs for Carson-Newman. On a single to right field for Gregory. She advances all the way to third. And makes it a 5-2 Carson-Newman game. When you're looking for insurance to give yourselves a little bit more comfortability, that is what you look for, especially with 2 outs. Sarah Walker waves through the first pitch. And it's 0-1. All of this coming with 2 outs. Smith and Martin were retired 1-2 to get this inning going. And then Macaulay Bailey, a long at-bat, worked the walk. Pinch ran for by Worley. Richards got a blooper to right center to fall as Walker goes that way, and she'll find the gap in right center field. Gregory comes in to score as Sarah Walker makes it 6-2. And the Eagles have taken full command of this contest. And we're going to have a change in the circle with 2 away in the bottom of the 6th inning. Addie Saunders coming to the plate. She's 2 for 3 in this game. Had a couple of RBIs in game 1. And so Kylie Payne says, I'm going to need to talk things over and make a change in the circle. We'll figure out who it is, get you everything you need to know when we come back on the Eagle Sports Network. Back on the Eagle Sports Network. Change in the circle for King. It is Michaela Ramsey that is coming in relief for Riley Lamb. As the Eagles have plated 3 in the bottom of the 6th inning, Addie Saunders steps in, takes a first pitch ball low, and it's 1-0. Pinch runner also in for the Eagles. It is Lacey Keck over at first base in place of Sarah Walker, as this is hit back up the middle by Saunders. A diving stab by DeMakis. Gonna flip to second to get Keck now at the bag, and that brings the 6th inning to a close, but the Eagles tack on 3 more. It is a 6-2 Carson-Newman lead, looking for 3 more outs in the top of the 7th when we come back on the Eagle Sports Network. Eagles looking for 3 more outs as Emma Romika looks to go for back-to-back complete games. As the Eagles have pushed the lead up to 4. It is 6-2 as Kaylee Hughes leads off. Takes the first pitch ball from Romika. Hughes pops it up straight to the shortstop Smith. And there's one away. Brings up Grace Sherry, but she will be pinch hit for in this spot. It is Lindley Adkins that has come up to bat as the pinch hitter in this spot for this Tornado. First pitch to Adkins is a called strike on the outer half. It's 0-1. Just 72 pitches thrown for Romika. Adkins, appearing in her 7th game, is 1 for 7 at the dish for a 143 batting average, the 0-1. And now she's got her second hit. Scorches one down the left field line as Saunders fires it back in. And King gets a 1-out base runner. So that brings up another pinch hitter. It is Amari Golden. Righty on righty against Romika. First pitch to Golden. She fouls it straight back, 0-1. The 0-1 from Romika. Fouled back once more, and it's 0-2. For Golden this season, had started 9 games prior. This is her first appearance off the bench, as there will be a pinch runner now for the Tornado as well, in place of Adkins over at first base. It is Bradley Warner who comes in as a pinch runner. She played in game 1 as the starting second baseman. Now she's over at first with some good speed. The 0-2 to Golden. Pops it up, left side of the infield. There's Smith, and there's 2 away. So King now down to its last out, and it is represented by Katie Ryan. Ryan is 0 for 2. Line out and a pop out, both to second base. First pitch is a strike from Romika, and it's 0-1. Carson-Newman had some troubles when they had 2 outs against Shorter on Wednesday. They haven't had the same issues today. They've been able to shut down any opportunities. Just 3 runs across these 14 innings so far as Ryan grounds it foul, third base side, and it's 0-2. Gave up 2 runs in the first inning here and 1 in the 6th. So across those 3 innings altogether, 3 runs in the other 11. Carson-Newman has had no troubles really with King overall. Haven't had a base runner in quite some time. The 0-2, and they won't have any chance here. Romika puts Ryan down looking. Check, please. It is a doubleheader home opening sweep for Carson-Newman as they take game 2, 6-2. Trailed 2-0 after the first half inning, but scored 1 in the second, 2 in the third, and 3 in the 6th to improve to 11-1 overall. They've won 6 consecutive games now. And we'll see what tomorrow holds. If there is a game against Barton, you'll find out. I'm sure I'll have a tweet or something coming out for you. Check CNEagles.com to stay up to date on anything and everything happening with Carson-Newman softball. If they don't play tomorrow, they'll be back in action on Tuesday when they take on Converse on the road. And then the team will head to Raleigh for the Triangle Classic. 6 games in 3 days next weekend. But that'll do it for this home opening contest from the Vic. Carson-Newman goes 2-0, 7-1 win in Game 2, and a 6-2 win here in Game 2. Sorry, I lost my train of thought, but I've been Matt Scalzo. It's been a pleasure to bring you these 2 games. Talk to you next time on the Eagle Sports Network. Until then, I'm Matt Scalzo signing off. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday night.